University Challenge. Asking the questions, Jeremy Paxman.
Hello. Around 100 questions stand between tonight's teams and a place in the second round. The winners go through automatically. The losers could qualify to play again if their score's good enough, so it's in both teams' interest to try and get through as many questions as possible tonight. Now, the University of Sussex was one of the wave of institutions founded in the 1960s. It boasts a particularly agreeable campus location in Parkland on the edge of Brighton and the South Downs. Its architecture is noted for the buildings designed by Sir Basil Spence, which were given listed status in 1993. Alumni include the novelists Ian McEwan and Philippa Gregory, the broadcaster Michael Burke, and Billy Idol, who left after a year to become a rock star. Sussex University is one of only a handful of institutions to have twice been series champions, although on the second occasion, the Beatles were still together, so a third win is a little bit overdue. With an average age of 26 and representing around 12,000 students, let's meet them.
Hi, I'm Oliver Raven. I'm originally from Somerset, and I'm currently reading for a Masters in Contemporary European Studies.
Hello, I'm Anushka Dave from Lewis in East Sussex, and I'm currently studying for a Masters in Science and Technology Policy.
Let's meet their captain.
Hi, I'm Seb Zarilli. I'm from Crowthorne in Berkshire, and I'm studying astrophysics.
Hi, I'm Dan Elbro. I'm from Cambridge, and I'm studying philosophy, politics and economics.
Now, Queen's University Belfast began life as one of the three Queen's colleges established in 1845, the others being in Cork and Galway. Designed to be a non-denominational alternative to Trinity College Dublin, which was controlled by the Anglican Church, it admitted its first students in 1849. A reorganisation in 1908 led to those three colleges being dissolved and replaced with the National University of Ireland and Queen's University, Belfast. Alumni include the former President of Ireland, Mary McAleese, the actor Stephen Ray, and the comedian Patrick Kielty. There's a student tradition that rubbing the right foot on the statue of Galileo in the Lanyon building brings good luck, either during exams or on television quiz programmes. So we're about to find out whether it works. With an average age of 28, representing about 25,000 students, let's meet the Belfast team.
Hello, I'm Alistair and I'm living in Belfast. I'm studying a Masters in Irish Studies.
Hi, I'm Jethro Waldron. I'm originally from Ripley in Derbyshire and I'm studying for a Masters in Irish Literature.
And this is their captain.
Hello, I'm Jack Ruddy. I'm from Dorset and I'm reading history.
Hi, I'm Charlie Shimmons. I'm from the Isle of Man and I'm studying international politics and conflict studies.
OK, the rules are unchanging, so should we just get on with it? Fingers on the buzzers, here's your first starter for 10. Which conflict is the subject of R.C. Sheriff's play Journey's End and the memoirs her...
Queen's Ruddy.
World War I.
Correct. These bonuses, the first lot tonight, Queens are on a country. In a 1941 speech, which country did Winston Churchill describe as the linchpin of the English-speaking world at a luncheon given in honour of its Prime Minister, Mackenzie King?
Canada?
Correct. Quote, if the national mental illness of the US is megalomania, that of Canada is paranoid schizophrenia. These are the words of which Canadian author, winner of the Booker Prize in 2000?
Jan Martel?
No, it's Margaret Atwood. They have been at war over a few acres of snow and they're spending on this fine struggle more than Canada itself is worth. In which satirical work of 1759 does that statement appear?
Tristram Shandy. What? Tristram Shandy?
Nominate Waldron?
Tristram Shandy.
No, it's in Voltaire's Candide. Right, 10 points for this starter question. From the Latin for deceive, what term is used in logic to denote any erroneous reasoning that has the appearance of soundness? Examples are the four-term and the gamblers, or Monte Carlo.
Sussex Zarilli.
Fallacy?
Fallacy is correct, yes. So your first bonuses, Sussex, are on chemical elements. In each case, name the element from the description. Firstly, first discovered in Sweden in around 1772, Lavoisier's work and insights into its properties led to the abandonment of the phlogiston theory of combustion. Its name is derived from the Greek for acid former.
Is it oxygen?
Oxygen?
Correct. The practical uses of this element, such as bleaching cloth and preserving wine, date back to ancient times. The French chemists Gay-Lussac and Thénard proved its elemental properties in 1809.
Chlorine.
No, it's sulphur. This element makes up 5% of the Earth's crust and is the most abundant element of the Earth as a whole. The average quantity in the human body amounts to about 4.5 grams.
Silicon?
No, it's iron. 10 points for this. What three-letter abbreviation links a one-volume encyclopedia of topics relating to the ancient world and an anxiety disorder whose symptoms may include aversion to particular numbers and nervous, time-consuming rituals?
Queen Shimons.
OCD.
OCD is correct. The Oxford Classical Dictionary and obsessive-compulsive disorder. Right, you get a set of bonuses, Queens, now on maritime history. One of the worst maritime disasters in home waters occurred when ships of Sir Cloudesley Shovel's fleet were wrecked off which island group in 1707?
Home waters.
Home waters.
That's what Isles of Scilly.
Hebrides or Isles of Scilly?
Correct. Faulty navigation was thought to have been the cause of the disaster. In an act of the same name in 1714, Parliament voted a reward for an accurate means of measuring what geographical coordinate when at sea?
Longitude?
Longitude is correct. And finally, born in Yorkshire in 1693, which horologist invented the first practical chronometer to calculate longitude at sea?
Sextant, is it? Sextant?
No, it was John Harrison. We're going to take a picture round now. For your picture starter, you'll see a photograph. To get 10 points, you just have to identify, name the person there, please.
Queen's Ruddy.
Steve McQueen?
It is Steve McQueen, yes. The director who won the Turner Prize in 1999. Your picture bonuses are 3 more photographs of Turner Prize-winning artists. 5 points for each you can identify. Firstly, for 5.
Yeah, Dan?
I'm not sure. It's not Tracy Emin.
Sorry? Whitbread? Whitbread?
No, it's Rachel White-Reed. And you're thinking of the right person, but I have to have the right name, please. Secondly?
I don't think that's Tracy Emin. I don't know.
Should I say Tracy Emin? Tracy Emin?
It's nothing like Tracy Emin. No, it's Gillian Waring. Finally?
No.
I'm really not sure.
No. Pass.
That's the sculptor Anish Kapoor. 10 points for this. Neptune is, by diameter, the 4th largest planet of the solar system. Which planet is 5th?
Sussex DeVay.
Is it Uranus?
Anyone like to buzz from Queens?
Queen's Ruddy.
Earth?
Earth is correct, yes. Queens, for your bonuses, you'll hear the second line of a novel rather than the more familiar first line. Give the novel's title in each case, please. Firstly, from a novella of 1915 in translation. He lay on his armour-like back, and if he lifted his head a little, he could see his brown belly.
Metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis?
Correct, by Kafka. From a novel of 1951, secondly, in the first place, that stuff bores me, and in the second place, my parents would have about 2 hemorrhages apiece if I told anything pretty personal about them.
Catcher in the Rye?
Correct. And finally, from a novel of 1953, it was a special pleasure to see things eaten, to see things blackened and changed.
Alston?
Slaughterhouse 5?
No, it's Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. 10 points for this. What single word links an influential work on ethics by G.E. Moore, a 1910 collaboration between Alfred North Whitehead and Bertrand Russell, and a groundbreaking work of 1687 by Sir Isaac Newton?
Sussex Elbro.
Principles.
Anyone want to buzz from Queens?
Queen's Waldron.
Principia.
Principia is correct, yes. Right, your bonuses, Queens, are on the UK's territories at the Olympic Games. Firstly, Team GB represents Great Britain and Northern Ireland, most of the British overseas territories, the bailiwicks of Jersey and Guernsey, and which other Crown dependency?
The Isle of Man.
Indeed. Secondly, the most northerly of the Leeward Islands, which British overseas territory is the birthplace of the Team GB long jumper Shara Proctor?
Montserrat? Yeah. Montserrat?
No, it's Anguilla. And finally, which British overseas territory in the North Atlantic has its own Olympic committee? It became the least populated nation to win a Summer Games medal when boxer Clarence Hill won bronze in 1976.
Bermuda?
Correct. 10 points for this. Answer as soon as your name is called. What two-digit number is obtained by adding the regnal numbers in both England and Scotland of the last King James to those of his successor, William?
Queen's Ruddy.
12.
Someone like to buzz from Sussex?
Sussex Zarilli.
14.
14 is correct, yes. 2 and 7 and 3 and 2. Right, Sussex, these bonuses are on comfort food. In each case, listen to the description and name the ingredient of a traditional British milk pudding. Firstly, a preparation of starch from the root of the cassava or manioc plant.
Okay. Tapioca.
Correct. Secondly, a carbohydrate from the trunk of a palm tree native to Indonesia. It's known in English by a short Malay word.
Sago. Sago.
Nominate Dave.
Sago.
Sago's correct. Now usually found in savoury dishes, a type of pasta whose name is thought to derive from a Byzantine Greek word for barley broth. It takes the form of short, narrow tubes.
Is it penne? Or is it macaroni?
Macaroni.
Correct. 10 points for this. The lead singer of which US rock band formed in the 1960s was reported as saying that their first record sold only 30,000 copies in the first 5 years, although Brian Eno commented that everyone who did buy it then started a band.
Queen's Melon.
Velvet Underground.
Correct. Your bonuses, Queens, are on husbands in Shakespeare. In each case, name the play in which the following lines appear. Firstly, husband I come, now to that name my courage prove my title.
The Merry Wives of Windsor.
The Merry Wives of Windsor?
No, it's Antony and Cleopatra. Secondly, Lord, I could not endure a husband with a beard on his face.
The Taming of the Shrew?
No, it's Much Ado About Nothing. And finally, thy husband is thy lord, thy life, thy keeper, thy head, thy sovereign.
Do you think that's Taming of the Shrew?
The Taming of the Shrew?
It is the Taming of the Shrew that time, yes. Right, we're going to take a music round now. For your music starter, you'll hear a piece of popular music. 10 points if you can identify the band playing.
Queen's Melon.
Fleetwood Mac.
Correct. Fleetwood Mac played at Bill Clinton's inaugural gala in January 1993, having allowed him to use Don't Stop as his presidential campaign song. Your music bonuses are 3 more bands or artists who've played at presidential inaugural galas or celebratory events. This time, in each case, I want you to identify both the band or artist you hear and the president each performed for. Firstly, for 5 points.
They're riding lucky stars above, but not for me. With love to
Ella Fitzgerald and Roosevelt?
No, it was Ella Fitzgerald, but she performed for John F. Kennedy. Secondly,
There's a story told of a very gentle boy and the girl who wore his ring. Through the wintry snow, the world they knew was one, for their hearts were full of spring. As the days grew...
The Beach Boys and Carter?
no, it was the Beach Boys and Ronald Reagan. Finally, come on.
Bush, Ricky Martin?
Which Bush?
W?
Correct. Well done. 10 points for this. Published in 2013, A Blaze of Autumn Sunshine was the final instalment of diaries by which politician, the longest-serving MP in the history of the Labour Party?
Queen's Melon.
Tony Benn.
Correct. Your bonuses this time, Queens, are on biology. Firstly, its name derived from the Greek for hollow spine, which lobe-finned, bony fish was thought to be extinct until 1938, when a living member of the family was caught in the Indian Ocean.
Nominate Malin?
Coelacanth.
Yes, normally called a coelacanth, I think, but you've got the right creature. Secondly, for 5 points, the animal phylum known as Coelenterata, or Nidaria, includes the order Actinaria, comprising soft-bodied predatory marine animals. After a terrestrial flower, by what two-word name are they commonly known?
Yeah, that's fine.
Nominate Waldron.
Sea anemone.
Correct. Celiac disease is caused by a failure to digest and absorb food from the intestines because of a sensitivity to what protein composite?
Gluten?
Correct. Another starter question now. The US inventor Edwin H. Land founded which corporation in 1937? 10 years later, he commercialised a process that uses the principle of diffusion transfer to reproduce an image generated by a camera's lens directly.
Sussex Arilli.
Polaroid?
Polaroid is right, yes. Your bonuses, Sussex, are on history and stage musicals. Firstly, the second act of which musical features revolutionaries taking to the streets of Paris after the death of the popular leader General Jean-Maximilien Lamarck?
Les Miserables?
Correct. Secondly, which musical was based on a novel by Margaret Landon, inspired by the governess Anna Leonowen's accounts of the court life of Mongut Rama IV during the 1860s?
The King and I?
Correct. Stephen Schwartz's musical Pippin, revived on Broadway in 2013, tells the story of the eponymous Prince of the Franks, the son of which Holy Roman Emperor?
Charlemagne?
Charlemagne is correct. 10 points for this. Disagreeing with the objective evidence-only position of Durkheim, which German sociologist recommended the adoption of his Verstehen, or empathetic understanding method? His best-known work is The Protestant Ethic and the Spirit...
Sussex Elbro.
Max Weber.
Max Weber is correct. These bonuses are on light Sussex. What type of polarisation consists of two perpendicular plane waves of unequal amplitude which are out of phase by 90 degrees?
Perpendicular? Perpendicular?
No, it's elliptical. Polarisation. Secondly, what term denotes a type of material that selectively absorbs light vibrations in one plane while allowing light vibrations at right angles to pass through?
Polarised.
No, that's dichroic. And finally, which boron silicate mineral has highly dichroic properties that are used by jewellers in tongs to distinguish between glass and crystal?
It is. Anything at all?
Glass and crystal.
Bromine. No, sorry.
It's tourmaline. We're going to take a second picture round now. For your picture starter, you will see a painting. 10 points if you can identify the artist.
Queen's Waldron.
Is that Klimt?
No. Anyone going to buzz from Sussex?
Sussex Dove.
Modigliani.
No, it's John Singer Sargent. So we're going to take the picture bonuses shortly. Another starter question in the meantime. Fingers on the buzzers, please. In February 2015, which country beat Ghana on penalties to win the Africa Cup?
Sussex Raven.
The Ivory Coast.
The Ivory Coast is correct, yes. You'll recall that in the picture starter we saw John Singer Sargent's 1888 portrait of his patron, Isabella Stewart Gardner. Sargent was one of the most prominent portraitists of the late 19th and early 20th centuries. For your picture bonuses, I want you to identify 3 more notable figures of the time who sat for him. Firstly, for 5.
That's Robert Louis Stevenson.
Robert Louis Stevenson.
It is Robert Louis Stevenson, yes. Secondly.
What's the Russian Tsarina called?
Alexandra.
Tsarina Alexandra.
No, that's Nancy Astor, Lady Astor. And finally.
Theodore Roosevelt.
Correct. 10 points for this starter question. Fingers on the buzzers. Derogatory terms used at the exclusion crisis of 1679 to 81 are generally cited as the origin of which 2 names for political groupings, one used until the mid-19th century, the other...
Sussex Zarilli.
Tories and Whigs.
Correct. Your bonuses, Sussex, this time are on cathedrals. The main body of Salisbury Cathedral was built over 38 years during the reign of which English king?
It's a really long-lived one. Edward I.
No, it's Henry III. Secondly, which monarch laid the foundation stone of Liverpool's Anglican Cathedral, built to a design submitted by Giles Gilbert Scott, then in his early 20s?
What sort of time period are we looking at here? No idea. Queen Victoria?
No, it's Edward VII. And finally, the construction of the present St Paul's Cathedral in London began during the reign of which monarch?
Is it
Charles II.
Correct. There are 4.5 minutes to go, and it could go either way still. 10 points for this. In chemistry, what 5-letter common name denotes the volatile, flammable liquid made by distilling ethanol with sulfuric acid? A common laboratory solvent, it was used as a surgical anaesthetic from the 1840s.
Sussex Dove.
Ether.
Ether is correct, yes. These bonuses, Sussex, are on Test cricket. Firstly, which batsman holds the record for being the fastest to score 10,000 Test runs in the least number of innings? He made his debut in 1990.
Is it Tendulkar?
Nominate Dave.
Tendulkar?
No, it's Brian Lara. 2 Sri Lankans have made 10,000 Test runs. For 5 points, name either one.
Nominate Dave.
Sangakkara?
Sangakkara was one, Jayawardena is the other. In 1993, Alan Border became the first Australian to make 10,000 Test runs. Who was the second in 2003?
Ponting.
Ricky Ponting.
No, it wasn't. It was Steve Waugh. 10 points for this. A somewhat circuitous overland route from the Aegean to the Baltic passes through only 3 countries. If the first is Turkey, what are the other 2?
Queen's Waldron.
Georgia and Russia.
Correct. You're going to send a bonuses on US military interventions, Queen's Belfast. In December 1989, US forces deposed General Noriega, the dictator of which country? He was jailed for offences including racketeering and money laundering.
I thought it was Panama.
Come on.
Panama.
Panama's correct. In 1986, the US bombed military installations in which Mediterranean country in retaliation for a bomb attack at a Berlin disco?
Libya.
Correct. In October 1983, a US-led invasion force restored power to the Governor-General after a series of coups on which Caribbean island?
Grenada.
Yes, I'll accept that. It's normally pronounced Grenada. Another starter question. To tax and to please no more than to love and to be wise is not given to men. These are the words of which author and political figure speaking in the House of Commons in 1774?
Sussex Arilli.
Benjamin Franklin.
What? No.
Queen's Mellon.
Edmund Burke.
Edmund Burke is correct, yes. You get 3 bonuses on mutagenic agents in biochemistry, Queens. Nitrous oxide is mutagenic because it deanimates cytosine. What base is produced by this reaction?
Should we just say pass? Pass.
It's uracil. Which physical mutagen is absorbed by thymine and cytosine bases, producing pyrimidine dimers?
Should we just say pass? Pass.
That's ultraviolet or UV radiation. And finally, chemical agents such as acridine orange are able to insert between base pairs of DNA. What is this process called?
Mutation. I don't know.
Mutation.
No, it's called intercalation, apparently. 10 points for this. W.H. Auden's 1944 work, The Sea and the Mirror, is a series of dramatic monologues spoken by characters from which of Shakespeare's plays?
Queen's Waldron.
The Tempest.
The Tempest is correct. You get a set of bonuses this time on US states and their neighbours, Queen's Belfast. New Mexico meets Arizona, Colorado and Utah at the point known as the Four Corners. It also has a long border with Texas and a much shorter border with which US state?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Correct. Texas borders New Mexico, Oklahoma and Louisiana. With which other US state is its shortest border?
Is that not directly above it? Try it.
Arkansas.
Correct. 2 states share borders with 8 other states. Both border Arkansas. Name either one. Come on, please.
Kentucky.
No, it's Tennessee or Missouri. 10 points for this. Answer as soon as your name is called. What in degrees is... And at the gong... Sussex University have 125. Queen's Belfast have 195. I bet you'll be kicking yourself, Sussex, for 1 or 2 of your interventions there, but that's how it goes. Thank you for playing. Queen's Belfast, congratulations to you. We look forward to seeing you in round 2. I hope you can join us next time for another first-round match, but until then, it's goodbye from Sussex University.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from Queen's University Belfast.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.